Hello everyone, I hope we are all well. Welcome back to the channel and thank you very much for tuning in. So in today's video, we're going to have a look at some ultra quality Microsoft Flight Simulator liveries. These liveries, in my opinion, are a cut above a lot of the other liveries that are available right now for the game and really stand out as high quality, almost payware standard liveries in my opinion, and definitely a must download if you've not got them already. As of making this video, a lot of these liveries were not included in the last mega pack, and if they were, they have been updated since the last release of the mega pack. So don't just assume that you have the latest version if you do have the mega pack. It's definitely worth checking the links and making sure yours is up to date. Links to all the liveries will be down in the description, and without further ado, let's get into it. Our first livery up today is actually a pair of liveries from the airline Vueling in Spain. First of all is the We Heart Places livery. It's based on a real A320 Neo with a true-to-life registration. This particular livery, it's really flawlessly done, and I have to say I am really a big fan of this one. It's a very unique design, so it's a bit different to a lot of the liveries I see out for the game currently. The textures themselves are done in 8K, so you can zoom in quite a ways and there's a lot of detail to them. The livery itself has a really glossy finish to it. It really shines under certain lighting scenarios, and just overall the livery itself has a lot of great details. It's got some details on the fuselage doors, and in fact this pair of liveries are the only two that I've seen where the author has actually gone in and put a maintenance plate on the nose wheel gear of the plane, and that itself is such high resolution you can actually zoom in and read the tiny lettering or wording that's on there. So that's a really nice detail from the pair. This is a pair of liveries, so second up here we have the standard Vueling livery. Again, this is done to the same high standard with the 8K resolution, textures, and features all the same sort of elements as the previous livery. Again, it's got this really glossy finish and just overall is very well executed. Next up we have a British Airways livery. This has got to be one of the best looking liveries I've seen for the game. The author has clearly done a lot of work here to try and improve the livery. In fact, he's released multiple iterations of the livery I've seen on the Flight Simulator forums, and he's, like I say, really gone the extra mile to make sure the accuracy is true to the real-life counterpart of this aircraft. This is based on a real-life British Airways A320 Neo, with the true-to-life reg plate on the aircraft, and the livery itself features 8K resolution textures, so it's got a lot of detail. You can zoom in very far. It's got this really nice glossy finish, and the author has used PBR materials on the plane as well to give it that added level of realism and finish. So there's lots of really nice little details on this livery. I can't go over them all here, but it's got things like the registration of the aircraft above the windows on the front of the plane, and the author's even gone so far as to put in individual little bolts around the windows as well. So it's just little details like that that just really make this livery stand out. It is obviously a pretty simple looking design, but the finish and execution of this one is just second to none. So I really got to hand it to the author for this one, and we'll have a look at some more of their liveries later on in the video. So up now, again, we have another pair of liveries. These are Scandinavian Airlines liveries, and both of them are finished really, really nicely. Again, both based on real-life A320 Neos with true-to-life registration plates. This first out, the two variants, is going to be the more modern, newer livery that Scandinavian are using. As you can see, it's got the raccoon mask type finish around the flight deck windows, and it features the large SES lettering across the fuselage, which has itself a metallic finish, so it does stand out from the other paint on the aircraft, which is quite a nice one. I actually saw this livery a few weeks ago now, and I'd not seen anyone that had done that kind of thing with the finish on the livery, so I've really got to hand that to them for going that extra mile and just making it look a bit more standout than your average livery. They've also put what they refer to as a roughness map across the livery as well, so in certain areas, especially on the chrome areas of the plane, you can see kind of a worn, scratched effect to the plane, and that does look really nice. I think it's just, again, little details like that that really make it stand out. It has 4K textures, so again, really high resolution textures. You can zoom in a relatively good distance, and you know, at normal viewing distances it just looks pin sharp. It has great details all over the plane. It's very accurate to their real-life counterparts, and even in the interior of the cockpit, it does have the registration number and the CELCAL code for the plane on a little placard in the cockpit, which not a lot of liveries have just yet. So again, another nice little detail there to make it stand out. And second of the pair, we have the classic Scandinavian livery. Again, this is really featuring many of the same sort of production finishes and details as the last one. Again, it's very accurate to the real life counterpart. This livery, being the classic livery, has the classic logo, again with that metallic finish, which makes it stand out from the paint, along with the striking orange engines and that really sort of classic colour to the main body of the fuselage itself. But again, these two just really nice. I think probably the better out of the Scandinavian liveries that I've seen. So again, definitely worth a look. So next up we have the Brussels Airlines Amare livery. This is the livery they've done for Tomorrowland, the Tomorrowland Festival, and it's not actually an A320 Neo in real life. It is an A320, so close enough, I suppose, but everything else on this livery is accurate to the real life counterpart. It has the same registration as the actual Amare airplane in real life. The textures themselves are done in 8K, and it really shines on this particular design because obviously there's a lot of detail to it. It's very colourful, and it is something that you want to zoom in on and have a closer look at. So props to the author for making the textures so high. The unique paint job is very well put together. I have made a livery myself, so I can appreciate how difficult it can be to kind of piece little bits together, especially if they've got complicated textures and a lot of detail going on. So very well put together, this one. And it even has detail on the belly of the aircraft itself, the Tomorrowland logo just running down there. Again, that's really nicely executed, and a nice little design feature to the livery. You might notice in my clips there are actually two registrations on this aircraft. One of them isn't actually part of the livery. The game puts that in itself, but even adjusting the toggle in the main menu, for some reason it won't disappear. So check back on the website maybe in the future for an update which might fix that. Now we have a livery from the airline AirMalta. This is again another realistic A320neo livery. It's based on a real plane with the real registration. Now, there's not too much I can really say about this livery. There's not too many frills to it, but all I can say is it's just a really well put together livery, and the textures themselves are in 8K, and with a design like this, it has a lot of detail, so that 8K resolution does really help this particular paint job shine. As you can see on the main fuselage and on the tail, there's a lot of little details that you could really zoom in on and really see the detail there. So again, just really well put together one, and overall decent, nice looking livery that's definitely worth adding to your collection. Next up is another livery with very little frills to it. It's a FinnAir livery, and whilst they do not run any A320neos, it is based on an A320 livery. The textures on this one are 4K, but it still looks really crisp and well done from, you know, normal viewing distances. And a couple of little details on this that are worth pointing out. It does have the blue metallic lettering that is actually really shiny if you sort of look at it in certain angles of light. And the paint on this, the body of the fuselage, the white paint is quite glossy and reflective, and I think that finish just looks really nice. Overall, it's just a simple, striking livery with the bold FinnAir logo, and again, another essential one, and out of all the FinnAir liveries I've seen, probably the best one so far. Now, next up is a highly recognizable livery, the WizzAir livery. This is one of their current liveries. They're running on a real-life A320neo with the accurate registration plate on this particular one. It really matches the real-life counterpart. The textures on this one are 8K, and it has that modern raccoon mask around the flight deck windows. Overall, it's just really well put together, much like the last couple. Not too many frills to it, but just a really high quality livery with high resolution textures. It does have some detail inside of the cockpit. It has a custom registration and Celcal code placard, much like the Scandinavian ones previous. And just overall, like I say, great livery and probably the best WizzAir livery that I've seen. Okay, and last but not least, we have a pair of Lufthansa liveries. These are both done by the same author as the prior British Airways livery. And what can I say about these ones? These both are really some of the highest quality liveries I've seen just across the board. Definitely the highest quality Lufthansa liveries I've seen. And again, much like the British Airways ones, the author has really gone above and beyond here to make sure they are accurate to their real-life counterpart. Both of these liveries are based on real-life A320neos, again with accurate registration plates, and even the name on the front of the plane there is accurate. They have a high gloss finish to them, and it just looks fantastic under certain light. Whatever the author has done to get this really glossy effect, I have to tip my hat to them. It just looks absolutely fantastic. The textures themselves, again, are 8K, so you can zoom in all you like on these ones, and they're not going to pixelate. They just look absolutely fantastic. The author, again, has worked with PBR materials to give it that extra little bit of realism and texture to the paintwork, and it's just, I can't say it enough, it's just simply stunning. I have a bit of a soft spot for the Lufthansa liveries anyway. They are very simple liveries, but they just, to me, they look fantastic. I really like the design of them, and it's just simple and effective, and I really like the typeface they use for Lufthansa as well. So second out of the two Again, it's just exactly the same quality as the previous, and this one is just based on a different A320neo, and clearly the main difference here is the raccoon mask type finish around the cockpit windows. I can't really say too much more about these ones except for, you know, this, if you're going to download any of them out of this whole list, these are the ones you want to download. They're by far the best done, and clearly other people can see that as well. They have been downloaded a lot of times looking on the website flightsim.to. These come together as a pack and also include an air traffic model for the AI planes in the game, so you can actually see this one flying around in the sim as well. That's controlled by the AI, which is really cool. So that is going to be all from this list, and I hope you have found that informative, and I hope you found some new liveries you can use. It was a lot of fun making this video and creating all the cinematics for each of the different liveries, working also in the Aerosoft add-on airport for Paderborn. The detail in that particular airport really helped me in this video, because there's a lot of little details you can use to create cool shots, so hats off to Aerosoft for that particular airport. But I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. Like I say, if you did like this video, don't forget to like the video down below. And if you want to see more Microsoft Flight Simulator content, do make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to make sure you can see when I upload a new video. I do actually live stream this game probably more than I actually put out videos on the channel. So if you hit the bell, then you can know when I go live. I'm also live on Twitch and on Facebook. Links you can find down in the description below if you prefer to watch me over there. But once again, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye for now.